If you've been told that skipping breakfast and fasting for a longer period of time in the morning is going to help you lose weight as a woman, that's a lie. Guess what? Research has actually shown an association of regularly consuming breakfast with lowered risk of type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome. So let's regularly consume breakfast. But let me tell you something. What you are consuming for breakfast is going to make or break your goals when it comes to weight loss because it's going to impact your cravings and it's going to impact our overall blood sugar and therefore inflammation. So I really want you to start having these handy dandy breakfast foods that you just know off the top of your head that you can pull out and make easily. And you know that you're starting your day off for optimal health, optimal blood sugar, and therefore optimal weight loss if that is one of your goals. Okay. So let's just dive right into the tips. Okay. So number one is going to be protein. Okay. So for optimal muscle protein synthesis, we're going to want to hit a minimum of 30 grams of protein for breakfast. If you want to go way over that, knock yourself out. Ideally, throughout the day, you want to be getting about 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. So honestly, the more you can front load breakfast, the better you're going to feel, the more satiated you're going to feel. Okay. So let me plow through some of my favorites that I like to pull out for breakfast. Number one, I love eggs. Eggs are really high in choline, which is going to help support your liver as well. An egg only has 6 grams of protein though, so just be conscious of that. You're probably going to have to add something else to it. Okay. I love different types of meat. I will do chicken sausage. I will do just plain old chicken. I will do salmon. That's another favorites. Greek yogurt is another great one that you could bring in as well. So those are some of my personal top favorite breakfast proteins. Now, again, remember, you don't have to have breakfast food for breakfast. You can have leftovers from dinner. That's totally fine. Okay. But let's aim to get our at least minimum of 30 grams of protein. Okay. Let's start there. Again, like I said, some of my favorites for this are eggs, some type of meat. I like chicken sausage. One of my favorite brands is the Amilu brand. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. I apologize so much. It's Amylu. I get mine from Costco. Salmon. We will make salmon for dinner sometimes, and then I'll just take the leftovers and make like a veggie hash and put salmon and then make some dippy eggs. Okay. They're not called dippy eggs. They're called over easy eggs, but I call them dippy eggs. And oh, that is like one of my most favorite breakfasts ever. And it's a great way. I'm starting off my day with around 50 grams of protein with that. So go me. Okay. So those are some of my favorites. And then we have to bring in the fiber. Okay. Fiber is going to be so great for helping support the good bacteria in our gut. Think about fiber as the brooms that just kind of cleans out your intestines. It also is going to help with keeping your glucose stable. It's going to help with satiation. So all around, like, we are going to win with this. Okay. So some of my favorite forms of fiber in the morning are going to be greens. So if I'm going to do a green in the morning, it's going to be spinach and it's going to be sauteed. I love peppers. Again, colorful peppers are a great form of vitamin C as well, which is going to also support your progesterone levels. Sorry, we're getting off track there, but great one. Peppers are great. You can also do seeds. Hemp seeds is one that I love if I'm doing something with breakfast, because they also pack a pretty nice protein punch in there as well. So they're great. Sprouts. So like broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, anything like that. They're great. Like if you make a little veggie bowl, or even eggs with like avocado or something like that. They're great to put on there and they're a great fiber source. So those are kind of my favorite ones there. I will make chia seed pudding sometimes. Chia seeds by themselves, not a great pack of protein, but you can combine it very easily with other things. So chia seed pudding is a great one. I will make chia seed pudding and then I will add Greek yogurt, maybe some protein powder, maybe some cacao, top with some berries. Boom, bam, bam. There we go. Okay. So that's a great one as well. So those are my good favorite fiber sources. And then you obviously are going to need your satiating fats, which, to be fair, a lot of the foods that I already covered are hitting your fat category. So if you have eggs, you're hitting your fat category. If you have salmon, you're hitting your fat category. If you have chia seeds, you're hitting your fat category. If you have Greek yogurt, you're probably hitting your fat category. So honestly, that's not really one you have to focus on bringing out because it very easily is hit. And then when it comes to your carb source for breakfast, I highly recommend focusing on low glycemic carbs. Okay. And the reason why is, again, the more stable we can keep our blood sugar here for breakfast, the more stable we're going to have it throughout the day. Okay. So remember, our goal here, is to stabilize our blood sugar, which is going to help support stable cortisol, stable insulin, which, if your end goal is weight loss, this is something we need to focus on. Okay. So low glycemic carbs, obviously veggies fit into that category, but one of my favorites is berries. Okay. Berries are also really high in fiber. So we're just kind of winning all around here. So berries are a great one. If I do like a veggie bowl with salmon, like I said, reheated potatoes are great. So, and the reason why is, once you cook potatoes, because they're a starch, once they fully cool, even if you reheat them again, they are what's called a resistant starch, which makes them a prebiotic for your gut, which is amazing, but they also have a lower glycemic index. So they're also one of my go-tos. I typically personally avoid grains or anything like that for breakfast. If you're someone whose goal is weight loss, grains are very high glycemic. And if your goal is weight loss, I would recommend making some other choices there. Okay. So if you've been struggling to balance your hormones naturally, even though you feel like you're doing all of the things, you have low energy, you have irregular cycles, you can't get rid of the weight gain, you have PMS, you have painful periods, you know it's tied to your hormones, but you're very overwhelmed by all of the health information out there on what to eat, what supplements you should focus on, what lifestyle things you should change, what labs you should run. It's overwhelming. There's a lot of information out there. I have a free mini course that goes over all of the reasons why you're still struggling, even though you feel like you're doing all of the right things. And on top of that, I'm going to go over the 3 pillars, the 3 steps that are so vitally important when it comes to balancing your hormones naturally. No matter what your symptom is, this is going to apply to you, because these 3 pillars and these 3 steps are so vitally important for every single woman who's dealing with hormonal imbalance. So it's yours. All you have to do is go to the QR code and go ahead and join. It will get sent right to your inbox, and you can get started today and start feeling better. Super easy to pull these together. You just make your favorites and have 2 or 3 breakfasts that you rotate through. Again, you're aiming for a minimum of 30 grams of protein, and you're focusing on your fiber, all of those choices that I gave you. I will tell you the ones I typically rotate through. The veggie bowl, like I said, I'll do, you can do peppers. If you love mushrooms, you can bring in some mushrooms, but peppers, sauteed spinach, and then the reheated potatoes I'll put in there, typically about a half a cup. And then I'll put the over easy eggs, and then I'll put the salmon. That one's amazing. Sometimes I'll switch out the meat source and put chicken sausage in there. That's one of my, I would say, most of the time go-tos. Sometimes I'll just do chicken sausage with peppers and eggs and have some fruit on the side. Or I will do the chia seed pudding, and then I'll add the Greek yogurt and the protein powder. And that is one of my other go-tos. So I typically tend to just stick with the same breakfasts. I rotate through. So I'm not bored. Okay. If I've had eggs for a while, I don't know if I'd ever get sick of eggs, but if you get sick of eggs, then I would rotate to something else. But those are the foods that I would make sure I'm bringing in. Okay. Make sure you're getting your protein, you're focusing on that fiber, and making sure you're focusing on low glycemic carbs. Okay. I promise you, if you are hitting at least the 30 grams of protein and getting that fiber in, you're going to notice a world of difference when it comes to how satiated you're going to feel and how more stable your energy is going to be. And again, weight loss is going to be so much easier for you. Okay. So commonly asked questions. What time ideally should I be eating breakfast? Between 30 to 60 minutes upon waking is going to be great. It's going to help stabilize your blood sugar, support optimal cortisol levels for the day. Okay. Can I have coffee before breakfast? Not if you love yourself. it's just setting you up for a little bit of a recipe of disaster here with your cortisol levels and therefore blood sugar levels, especially depending on what you put in your coffee. But again, if our focus is stable blood sugar, our focus is weight loss, I would do breakfast, then coffee. Are smoothies good for breakfast? They can be, but it depends on what you're putting in your smoothie. I would say most people tend to overdo high glycemic fruit, underdo the protein, underdo the fiber. You know, they'll put in a banana and a bunch of like, I don't know, pineapple and mangoes and blah, blah, blah. And then it's just not very satiating. It's really easy to just put, I've had some people put literally like 60 grams of fat in a smoothie for breakfast. Again, if our goal is weight loss, we're not really covering our bases there very well. So if you were going to do a smoothie, personally, what I would do, again, you could do whatever you want, but personally what I would do is I would do some Greek yogurt. I would probably do a scoop of protein powder. And you don't even have to do a flavored protein powder. It can just be, Paleo Valley has unflavored bone broth. That would be a great one. Paleo Valley can always use the coupon code LEAH, LEH, to save with them. They have unflavored. I know that other places have unflavored. I'm pretty sure Equip has an unflavored one as well. And then Soda's Heart and Soil. Yes, Heart and Soil has a great unflavored one as well if you're looking for unflavored. So I would do that. And then I would do a base. I would probably put my seeds in for fiber. I would maybe put some leafy greens in for some more fiber. And then I would probably do berries would be my fruit of choice for a sweetener, again, for a low glycemic. If you do that, you can typically hit about 40 to 45 grams of protein, which is going to help with satiation. Your seeds have your fat and they have your fiber. And then your berries have your carb and some more fiber in there. So that would be a good one if you're looking to go in that area. Can I eat eggs every day? Yes. If you're a Leah, yes. And then the other most commonly asked question I get is how much protein should I have? Which I already answered that one. You're looking for a minimum of 30 grams of protein. Minimum. All right. Happy breakfast eating, ladies.